$97,000 profit in 2.5 months, $215,000 in 14 months, $175,000 profit in 6 months. Hello everybody, Darcy Marlowe here, and these are just some of the real-life examples of profits that my students have earned while investing in real estate development strategies. Strategies like entitlement or upzoning, land assembly, lot severance, new construction, build to rent, build to sell, and raw land development. That's what this video is all about. I recently spent 10 days in Texas and Florida meeting with developers, builders, investors, and students, and I'm going to show you 33 real-life examples of how people are profiting in development. My goal is to open your eyes to the fact that not everything has to be about rentals, flips, wholesaling, and Airbnb. There are other ways to make money in real estate. So if your real estate investing business isn't doing what you hoped it would, either financially or with your lifestyle, then maybe it's time to explore other options. This video is going to show you how ordinary investors, just like you, are succeeding and transforming their lives in this different sandbox. If any of this information tweaks your interest, then please send me a DM. Put rapid fire in the DM and we can start a conversation about your future in development. You're going to want to stay to the end to get the full experience of all 33 wins. Oh, and by the way, I have students in the United States and Canada, so all of the amounts are in US dollars. So let's get going on the 33 real-life examples on how to profit in real estate development. Yes, let's get going. We're going to do this rapid fire, one right after another. Real-life real estate development wins. We're going to start with entitlement, upzoning, or paper lot strategies. So what's happening is here, we're not doing any work on site. We're just changing zoning, density usage, maybe doing a lot assembly, maybe a lot severance, improving the value of the land, and then selling it off to the next person down the line. So we already saw the first three, 97, 215, 175. Now, $290,000 profit in 18 months, 325 in 8, projected 79 or 790, projected $2 million, $430,000 profit in 6 months. What's important to note here is one of these was a gentleman, an investor I met while I was in Texas. All the other 7 are real life from my students of the course, my real estate development course. So these are real life numbers. I put projected is because those two are still, in front of city council, trying to get the development permit or the site plan approval. But once the permits are got, then these are the projected profits that they're going to see. Those are changing zoning and density and getting the change there. It could also come in the form of land severance. Let's say you bought this full thing, it's about 30 acres. You subdivide it into these smaller lots and then sell them. This is a real life example from someone in Texas, $200,000 profit in 3 months just by doing that. Here's someone with the course. So basically this is a mix of a bunch of stuff. So merging a 3-acre parcel with a 4-acre to get, that's lot assembly, changing those zoning and density to go from the ability to have 11 lots to 36, and then severing the lot, the original larger piece, into these 36 subsections. 8 months, $290,000 profit. That's pretty cool. So now let's say we want to build something. We don't just want to do the paperwork. So let's actually build, start with a vacant lot or tear down. We're going to, and then build a house or a duplex or whatever. If it's a student that we're doing, we're actually going to use real numbers. If we're partnering with a builder, we're assuming 25% down, 75% construction loan on these numbers. And you can do lots of different ways to partner with the builder, cost plus, whatever, but we're just going to do a 50-50 split just to keep things separate. So here's a real life, real house in Florida that we were that I saw. So basically $335,000 all in, sell for $425,000. 75% down on 335 is 85,000. Half the profit goes to you. 10 months from taking control of the vacant land to handing the keys to the new family. 10 months cradle to grave. That's a 53% cash on cash. So what cash on cash is physically how much money went out, physically how much money came back. I love that. That's my base. That's my favorite metric because it allows me to compare any investment, flips, rentals, crypto, diamonds, whatever. Cash on cash is a great way to do that, and that's an exceptional number. Let's do rapid fire. Some more single family builds. 74,000 cash out gets you 40,000 in 10 months. That's out in your pocket again. We've already paid off the builder, so that's to you. 54% cash on cash, and then you can see some of the other numbers: 83,000, 92, 202. But what's important to see is the cash on cash. Basically, 54%. 50% would mean you double your money in 2 years. 100 means you double it in a year. So look at that. Almost all of it is doubling your money at least in a year or less, or 2 years or less. Here's another more higher end, 1.1 million to build, 1.3 to sell. You need 275 cash, but basically you're getting 36% cash on cash within 14 months. Again, always remember the time. Now let's look at a duplex. Here's this was an example of someone from San Antonio. The builder got their cost down to $85 a square foot on these, so they were doing really well. That's a really important part too. Can you partner with the seller or the builder, and what does that look like? So again, 63% cash on cash, $95,000. So less than $100,000 in, $60,000 in 10 months back to you. Pretty cool. Some more bullet rapid fire wins on duplexes. Again, you can see some of the numbers, 56%, 111%. So that means you're more than doubling your money in a year and a half, in 12 months. So now the question, come on, Darius, 111%, give me a break. That's not real. These are real numbers. Again, I was in Dallas, San Antonio, Houston, in Texas. On the Florida side, I was Tampa Bay and just south of there on the Sunshine Coast, Fort Myers, talking to builders, developers, investors. These are real numbers, and then mixed in again, actual real life wins from the course. So yes, this is actually real. But geography plays an important point. This isn't happening anywhere, right? Everywhere. So for example, even in Dallas Metroplex, there's smaller cities and towns or counties that don't want you there. Like, they're very anti-development. You're not getting in and out in 10 months. That's not realistic. To change from a single family home to a 6+, it might take a year to get your permit, right? So you got to avoid those places. So let's focus on where that actually does work. And that's the importance of getting in with local people that kind of know what they're doing. And the other thing too is certain strategies work in better in different locations, even by neighborhood. You know, I was with a realtor in Dallas, and they were saying, yeah, this, you know, here you're better off knocking down the house and building a really nice new house. Here duplexes are better. Over here, you know, still flips are the better play over here. And here we're going to do raw land development, right? And then the other thing too is the first screen, the first couple of screens were about entitlement, where we're just changing zoning and density. Those actually tend to work better in places where you've got higher taxes and it takes longer permits, because now you can be a value add for the builder. In the places where building is best, you know, low taxes, you know, low cost to build, low labor costs, in and out quick, no permits or very little permitting kind of process. So strategies, the different micro strategies work best in different places. But yeah, geography is really, really important. You got to learn that. Again, and DM me rapid fire if you want to learn more about this, because these are some exceptional numbers, I'm guessing, compared to your existing rentals and flips. Here's a fourplex. So this was in Dallas. So basically a skinny lot. So what they do is they build fourplexes or duplexes down. They call them deep fours. So you drive in the side and then come in at a 90-degree into your garage. So there you can see the numbers, 425 required, 340 back to you in 12 months. So 80% cash on cash. Here's a sixplex. This was in Dallas as well too. Again, the numbers in, out, 57% cash on cash. So Doris, how much do I need? I get asked it all the time. Well, now we can see it. Literally a dozen of the 33 examples, you're getting in for under $100,000, which is pretty good. But again, time, 28 of the 33 are in and out in less than 14 months. All 33 are in and out in less than 20 months, so less than 2 years. Compare that to your 8 or 10-year exit strategies on your rentals. Pretty favorable. So putting all these together, it's very realistic that you can get your life back. All the time you're spending, you know, on site every day doing your flips and rentals, you can get your life back while doubling your money in 2 years or less. That's extremely realistic in this development world, and that's really the point of this video, is to show you that. Here's a larger project, so obviously larger money, but just what's possible at the larger end too. So this gentleman, this was in Houston, took an acre, bought the acre next door, merged them together. That took 5 weeks, along with the subdividing of that into 32 sublots, actually creating the separate titles of 32 lots, and then he built 32 side-by-side townhouses. 20 months, cradle to grave. Basically, it was $320,000 per unit was his cost, sold for about $400,000, so $80,000 profit times 32 units. 20 months, cradle to grave, 50% cash on cash, exceptional. Other strategies, let's say we don't build and sell, let's say we build and we hold them in our rental portfolio. A friend of mine in Florida actually custom built these duplexes for Airbnb. So basically they took out the garage at the front, turned those into another bedroom. So both sides sleep 8, single merged pool in the back, $550,000 to build, appraised at $615,000 when he was done. 75% construction loan going in meant he had to come up with $137,000, but then he refinanced on an 80% loan or mortgage after back, got that much back. So at the end of the day, he owns the building and only had $15,000 invested. Each side gross is about $2,000 a month, which ends up at about $100,000 a year. So exceptional there. So different exit strategies, all kinds of different options here in this world of development that you don't have in flips and rentals. And then literally dozens of my students are doing this. They're buying an old vacant lot or tearing down that building, building a new multiplex, duplex, fourplex, 6, 8 doors, renting them out, refinancing, repeating. So instead of the BRRRR strategy, which we all know, buy, renovate, re-rent, refinance, repeat, this is BRRRR. I don't know if I just coined that or not, but yeah, buy, build, rent, refinance, repeat. Dozens of my students are doing that. And now let's get into the final one, raw land development, subdivision creation. This is a real life example. I met with a developer in Dallas, 77 acres turned into 120 residential lots. The raw land cost $1 million, but they partnered with the seller, right? So they didn't have to come up with the cash. They only had to come up with $10,000 up front, and then at the end, the seller got their $1 million plus $150,000 bonus. So that's pretty cool. $30,000 cost all in. They were only able to get a 60% construction loan. So 40% down on 3.6 would have meant they needed 1.44 million because they didn't have to buy the land. They only needed 440 plus the 10,000 for the seller, 450,000. That's another thing that's possible in this development world. You can be lots more creative with the seller, and I teach 11 or 12 different ways to partner with the seller potentially. Sold the lots to builders, so they didn't actually build the houses, they just did the horizontal part, they just created the subdivision and then sold it. You can see the profit, and again, this is in your pocket, you've already paid off the builder. 16 months, all in, 477% cash on cash. So that's exceptional. Even if they had to pay the $1 million, so if they were, let's say 1.44 cash, it's still 150% cash on cash at the end, so exceptional. And here's one final one in Houston. Raw land development, 85 turned into 80. What's important here is, so costs all in are 5.1 million. So 35% down means they needed 1.7 million cash. So that basically buys the land and pays for the soft costs. Then they get the loan for the actual hard cost, which is the physical building. But before they even broke ground, they'd pre-sold the lots to builders, which meant they were able to get a 15% deposit, which turns out to be 1.14 million. So now instead of a $3.4 million loan, they only needed a $2.3 million loan. Saves them a ton of interest, right? Again, different ways to be creative to fund your projects here. 18 months, again, cradle to grave, 65% cash on cash. So with all these in mind, why are we still doing rentals and flips and Airbnb, right? Why are we still dealing with tenants and toilets? Why are we dealing with these never-ending renovations? Why are we continuing to rehab these nasty 80 or 90-year-old buildings? Why do we keep putting up with substandard property management? Property management companies suck. Why do we keep doing that? Living with rent control, government interventions, cash for keys, taking a year to kick tenants out who don't pay, taking valuable time away from your family. If you're doing this a lot, you're down at site all the time, you're dealing with your tenants, get your life back. And again, the big one, why do we wait 8 to 10 years for a viable exit point? Get in and out quick. So, make the switch to this new sandbox of real estate development. Work with new, be creative. Watch your dreams literally come to life. Get in and out quick. You can definitely do this. Again, DM me, rapid fire, and we'll start a conversation.